Hey everybody, welcome back to Biblical Seekers. Today, we're going over the woman and the child in Bible prophecy. It's time to see the truth. Okay, let's get started by going to Revelation chapter 12, verses 1 through 2. And there appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun, and the moon under her feet, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars. And she, being with child, cried, travailing in birth, and pain to be delivered. So who or what is this woman, and who is her child? Well, let's see exactly what a woman represents in Bible prophecy by going to Ephesians chapter 5, verse 25. Husbands, love your wives, even as Christ also loved the church and gave himself for it. So this verse states for husbands to love their wives, even as Christ loved the church. So it's referring wives to the church. So the woman in Revelation must represent a church. So now that we understand what the woman represents, let's continue on to understand who her child is by going to Revelation chapter 12, verse 4. And his tail drew the third part of the stars of heaven, and did cast them to the earth. And the dragon stood before the woman, which was ready to be delivered, for to devour her child as soon as it was born. So here we see the dragon, or Satan, trying to devour the child as soon as the child was born. So who would be so important that Satan would want to devour him as soon as he was born? Well, the answer is simple. It is Jesus. You see, right when Jesus was born, King Herod sent out a decree for every male child 2 years of age and under to be killed. We can see this in Matthew chapter 2, verse 16. Then Herod, when he saw that he was mocked of the wise men, was exceeding wroth, and sent forth and slew all the children that were in Bethlehem, and in all the coasts thereof, from 2 years old and under, according to the time which he had diligently inquired of the wise men. So the devil, knowing that Jesus was coming to die on the cross for our sins, attempted to have him killed as soon as he was born. Let's take a look at one more characteristic of this child in Revelation chapter 12, verse 5. And she brought forth a man-child, who was to rule all nations with a rod of iron. And her child was caught up unto God and to his throne. So here we see that the child was caught up unto God and to his throne. And in the same way, Jesus ascended up into heaven to be with God and to return to his throne. Let's take a look in Mark chapter 16, verse 19. So then, after the Lord had spoken unto them, he was received up into heaven and sat on the right hand of God. So now that we understand what the woman and her child represents, I would like to take a look at one last verse. Let's go to Revelation chapter 12, verse 17. And the dragon was wroth with the woman, and went to make war with the remnant of her seed, which keep the commandments of God, and have the testimony of Jesus Christ. So now that Jesus has ascended up to heaven, and the devil can no longer attempt to kill him, he now turns his attention to his followers, the ones which keep the commandments of God and have the testimony of Jesus Christ. And as always, remember to study to show thyself approved, and let the Bible interpret itself. Tune in next time to seek the truth.